there, friends. I hope you're doing well.
I'm Laura, aka Weird Barbie, and before we jump in, I just want to say a huge thank you for helping this channel hit 100 subscribers. Oh, it seriously means a lot. If you're new here, hit that like button and subscribe for more MMO content just like this. We've got a lot to cover today to determine if Wuthering Waves is worth playing in 2025. So guys, you know the drill. Grab a tea, your favorite hoodie, and let's dive in. Wuthering Waves is a free-to-play open-world gacha-based action RPG made by Kuro Games, a Chinese game studio. It officially released May 22nd, 2024 on PC and mobile, with a PS5 release coming later in January 2025. The exact budget hasn't been confirmed, but insider estimates peg it somewhere around the $120 to $150 million range, meaning this is one of, if not the most ambitious gacha titles ever made. It was in development for about 4 years, and that level of polish really shows. The very first thing that struck me about it was the intro cinematic. No dialogue, just visuals, and it was captivating. It builds this mysterious emotional tone that made me want to know more about the world. The English voice acting is also top notch. Characters' mouth movements sync up with the dialogue, which is a rare level of detail for games in this genre. Subtitles are turned on by default too, which is great accessibility-wise. The music is another strength. Soft, atmospheric piano and ambient choral tracks. It creates this calming sense of melancholy and beauty. It's cinematic, but not overbearing. Since the game has a sound and music-based theme to it, it's no wonder they spent so much time on getting the music in-game just right. Visually, this game gives me Final Fantasy XIV meets Breath of the Wild vibes. Pastel cel-shaded skies, massive, fully climbable landscapes, and those delicate lighting flourishes that make the world feel alive. Plus, you can grapple, glide, and straight up fly all over the massive maps. Wuthering Waves absolutely nails controller and handheld support as well, so Steam Deck players rejoice. There's full button mapping, easy to read on-screen prompts, and the game runs smoothly on the deck even with ultra graphics turned on. And the settings menu? Surprisingly deep. You get full graphical and gameplay customization, detailed control layouts, even visual previews of your bindings. It's one of the better PC ports of a mobile game I've played recently. There were only a few tiny moments where I needed to use my mouse or touch screen to interact with menus, but honestly, that's nitpicking. For 99% of my sessions, controller play felt seamless. Okay, story time. You start in Wuthering Waves as the classic amnesia-stricken protagonist. It's a familiar trope in anime games that you're probably familiar with, but it's handled with enough intrigue in this game that it didn't feel lazy. Your main character, called the Rover, embarks on a journey across a post-apocalyptic sci-fi world after being sent through a mysterious portal. It is Rover's task to uncover their past and the nature of a mysterious cataclysm called the Lament. Along the way, the rover teams up with allies, called Resonators, to fight monsters known as Tacit Discords, or TDs, which are remnants of the Lament. As in Genshin Impact, you get to choose between playing as a male or female rover, with the choice really only impacting whether your character's dialogue lines and internal monologue are voiced by male or female voice actors. As your player character is just one of many resonators you can equip to your team, there aren't any options for appearance customization. Again, similar to how Genshin Impact handles its main protagonist. After the gameplay tutorial section and prologue, you have access to a few different main quest chains. Choosing one, although I chose Chapter 2 first as the game leads you to doing so, it kicks off a long chain of cutscenes. But they're beautifully directed, animated, and voiced, so I never felt the urge to skip them. It feels like watching a high-budget anime most of the time, quite honestly. Main quests are the primary set of quests that tell the main story of Rover and can be completed in any order. The main story is divided into chapters, which are divided further into acts. Players need to reach a certain union level to unlock each of the acts in each of the quest chains. We'll discuss union level a little later in the video, so hang tight. The pacing builds mystery around the world. Feuding noble families, echoes going berserk, all with political, religious, and cultural dynamics at play. The first act of Chapter 2 is dense with story, so if you're a story skipper, I would avoid this game or you won't be getting the full experience. It throws a lot of names and lore at you right away, and the gameplay revolves around going from set piece to set piece, talking to various characters, and playing detective for almost 2 full hours. Once you push past that first act, though, the world opens up massively. You start exploring freely, fighting and collecting echoes, and the storytelling starts feeling more naturally integrated with the gameplay. Very Final Fantasy XIV here in tone, where the emotional beats really start to land amongst stretches of engaging gameplay. Speaking of gameplay, Wuthering Waves is a huge winner in this category. Combat feels solid, like snappy, smooth animations, good hit feedback, and enough mechanics to keep things interesting without overloading you. There's tons of room to explore, with secrets and materials for upgrading and cooking to find around every corner. Cooking is a system that allows you to prepare and eat different dishes for various stat buffs and effects. Enemies in the game are also well balanced. Even beginner mobs take multiple hits to go down, and they hit back just as hard, so fights feel weighty and rewarding. You can dodge, parry, use ultimates, and swap between characters mid-battle. There's a unique mechanic called concerto skills, where when changing characters, the exiting character uses a powerful exit attack, and the incoming character uses a powerful intro attack, which makes the timing of character swaps factor into your combat strategy. Enemies can also be broken, a state where you've depleted their break bar or toughness bar. They stop attacking and take increased damage for a short period of time. There are multiple ways to break an enemy. The first is by parrying attacks. Watch for a glowing halo around an enemy, indicating a parryable attack is incoming. When the outer ring of the halo closes in on the inner ring, use a basic attack or other skill to parry. Or just button mash like I do, it works 90% of the time. A successful parry significantly depletes the enemy's toughness bar. You can also use certain skills to break enemies. Abilities like intro skills and outro skills can deal substantial damage to the toughness bar, making them very effective. Overall, using any of a character's abilities contributes to depleting the toughness bar, including basic attacks, heavy attacks, and dodge counters, though parries and concerto skills do the most damage to it. Circling back around to the exploration, in Wuthering Waves, it feels natural and the game rewards your curiosity. You'll constantly find gatherable materials and critters, treasure caches, and lore fragments tucked around the environment. And when you step out of that first tutorial corridor into this massive open vista, it genuinely gave me that Breath of the Wild moment where you're just like, wow, like it's breathtaking. There's also a creature collector mechanic built into this game. You can absorb enemy echoes, equip them, upgrade them, and even use their special abilities in battle. There are also little minigames built around these echoes, and the system adds a fun layer to help break up the combat repetition. Alright, let's talk systems, specifically leveling, ascension, echoes, and currencies, because this is a gacha game after all, so you know there's going to be quite a few. For currencies, you've got Lunite, the premium currency mainly for high value purchases from the shop, Asterite, used for upgrades and for converting into summon items, Shell credits, which are your standard earn by playing currency for everyday items and purchases, and then you have your most valuable currencies, Radiant Tide and Lustrous Tide, which are used for the gacha pulls, so this is how you get your waifus. Besides doing a ton of achievements, there's a daily system that you can engage with to earn these various currencies, as well as upgrade materials, but it's not mandatory. If you want to do it for the rewards, it can all be completed in about 30 minutes. In addition to achievements, Wuthering Waves also runs events which are time limited, or in some cases permanent, that offer unique gameplay and special currency and upgrade rewards. These can include challenges like combat or puzzles, login bonuses, and permanent additions to the game that help players earn resources like astrite and character progression materials. Some events take place within the game itself, while others, called web events, are accessed through a web browser. The types of events are limited time events. These are temporary activities that are available for a specific duration, often tied to game patches, and feature unique story content and rewards. Permanent events. These are activities that are added to the game permanently and are designed for long-term participation to earn ongoing rewards. Login events. Players log in daily during a specified period to claim rewards, such as those provided by the Pioneer Podcast event. Combat and trial events. These often require players to complete combat challenges. Some may provide trial characters for players to use, while others require the use of their own units. Web events, accessed outside the game on a browser. These can be a variety of activities like fan art submissions, sign-in events, or other collaborative efforts with other companies. I highly recommend you prioritize events, especially those with missable rewards, as they are a primary source of resources like special currency for pulls. However, check requirements before attempting them. Some events may have a minimum union level requirement to participate. Another more gameplay-focused reason to do them are for their unique mechanics. Events like Alloy Smelt feature unique gameplay, such as a time-based score attack mode that let you earn various different rewards. Now that you've got all those achievement and event rewards, what do you do with them? You upgrade stuff, of course. In terms of upgrading your resonators or your characters, you've got a lot of options to choose from. Leveling and Ascension increases a character's level and base stats using resonance, potions, and other materials. Ascension requires more resources and a higher databank level to access. Your databank level is increased by absorbing new echoes into your magical sci-fi gourd, and is crucial as it unlocks the ability to find higher tier echoes with better stats. You won't find 5-star echoes until databank level 15. Union level. This is the main progression system in Wuthering Waves, which unlocks new content like story chapters, character and weapon ascension, and the soul phase or world level. It is increased by gaining Union XP through various activities like completing quests, exploring the map, and doing daily tasks. Key milestones like Union level 20, 40, and 60 require an ascension quest to proceed, while higher levels are unlocked by simply gaining enough XP. Forte, or skills, upgrade a character's 7 abilities, which include basic attack, resonance skill, resonance liberation, their ultimate, and others. Some skills require specific materials like weekly boss drops to upgrade. And you have weapons. Characters use one of 5 weapon types: broadblade, gauntlets, rectifier, swords, or pistols. These can also be upgraded. In addition to your character and weapons, you can also upgrade your echoes. Echoes, think of them like equipment, are monsters obtained by defeating them as enemies in the open world. Echoes themselves are incredibly diverse in design as well as in the abilities they provide to you in combat. You have 5 echo slots on each character, with each echo having a cost point to equip. The maximum echo cost limit in Wuthering Waves is 12, which is unlocked at databank level 9. A common build is 1 4-point, 2 3-point, and 2 1-point echoes. Echoes come in sets. Equipping 2 or 5 echoes from the same set provides additional stat boosts through sonnet effects. Now, to aid you in all this leveling and upgrading, you also have the synthesis system. It's a crafting mechanic that allows players to create items such as potions, weapon experience materials, and skill upgrade materials using the synthesizer. It involves collecting resources from the world and purchasing some from stores to craft useful items across three main categories: potion making, constructing, and purification. Collect materials from the world, including flowers, ores, and critters, while exploring, and visit the Shiliang Pharmacy in Jinzhou to buy necessary base materials with shell credits. Prioritize leveling up your synthesis proficiency to unlock more advanced recipes and earn rewards like asteroid. A newer feature also allows for the conversion of lower grade tuners into higher grade ones. These are used for upgrading and ascension. The key features and benefits of using this system include making potions for healing, resistance, and stat boosts, constructing base materials needed for other recipes or weapon enhancements, purifying or making materials required for character and skill upgrades, converting lower rarity upgrade materials like tuners into higher rarity ones, and overall, I would say that it's a pretty detailed system that does take some time to wrap your head around, but once you do, it all becomes sort of like clockwork and you just get into the swing of it. Overall, the game is pretty deep and it's a lot to digest at first, but after a couple of hours, the flow of collecting echoes, synthesizing, upgrading your character, and exploring the world just kind of becomes intuitive, especially if you've played Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact. So, here's the part that usually makes or breaks gacha titles: the cash shop. Good news? Nothing here feels egregious. There's a standard gacha system for obtaining new resonators, powerful weapons, and resonator outfits. The Lunite subscription, the game's monthly premium pass, is only $5 US and gives some nice rewards that feel fair for the price. You get a reward of 300 Lunites immediately after purchase, with a daily login bonus of 90 astrites every day after for 30 days. Rewards are lost if you don't log in for a day though, so keep that in mind when purchasing. But the best part about the shop? You can't even see it for the first few hours of gameplay. Like, they lock it away, you can't find it. The game actually lets you play, explore, and enjoy the story before throwing any monetization your way, which is such a rare thing these days, and I absolutely love it about this game. When it finally does open up, it still doesn't feel pushy. Like, I never hit any of those frustrating pain points where the game tries to sell you a fix for problems it created on purpose. It just lets you have fun. That makes a huge difference and is something a lot of other games get totally backwards. Especially Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Like, their shop is very in your face, and I don't like that about that game, so this game, big props for that. Something I feel I need to address about the game's labeling is that it's not really an MMO in my opinion. Despite the MMO label, Wuthering Waves is a lot like Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail. It's primarily single player, but you can chat globally or co-op with others for certain bosses and events. There are no big player raids or cities full of other players here, just a large open world where your adventure is mostly your own. I only mention this so you know what type of game you're walking into, rather than to cast negativity of any sort on the game itself, because overall it's fantastic. I didn't group up with anyone or engage with the global chat during my initial playthrough, so unfortunately I can't comment on the community vibes in this video. In conclusion, after about 12 hours, I walked away really impressed with Wuthering Waves, and it's definitely being added to my daily roster of games. It nails presentation, sound design, character building, world building, controller integration, and early game pacing, on top of being absolutely gorgeous and satisfying and fun to play. It gives you plenty of time to fall in love with its world before it ever asks you to open your wallet as well, and that's a huge plus. It's not perfect. Some story density issues and small system quirks hold it back, but honestly, if you're into action RPGs, gacha systems, and waifu collecting, or simply exploring beautiful open worlds, you'll have a blast playing this game. It is very similar to Genshin Impact, a game I played for about 40 hours, though the story, pacing, Combat and creature collector elements in Wuthering Waves puts it in my number one gacha game slot, with Honkai and Genshin sliding into the number 2 and 3 slots, respectively. What can I say? I'm a sucker for pretty boys, pretty girls, and jiggle physics. So, is Wuthering Waves worth playing in 2025? Abso-fucking-lutely it is. It's easily a 9 out of 10, and it only loses a point for being extremely story dense at times, which was a bit draining to me. If this isn't an issue for you though, and you love a good heavy dose of story, then it's a 10 out of 10 hands down. If you've played it, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What did you think of the combat and story pacing? How do you think it compares to Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact? And again, thank you all for 100 subs. It seriously keeps me motivated to keep doing this. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and until the next one, stay weird, stay cozy, and keep leveling.